Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Betty and in this video I'm going to share the books I read in June. So let's begin. The first book I read in June is The House Sitter by Elizabeth Drummond. So this is about Pippa and she has everything. She has a boyfriend, she has a job, she is running a business together with her boyfriend. And one day Alex comes home and he tells her that he made a life-changing decision without her, so she's very angry, mad, and they break up. So now she is single again and she doesn't have a job anymore. Eventually she has to find a new job, of course, so she finds one as a house sitter and she is really obsessed with this house. She always thought it was beautiful, it's huge and very historical in kind of way, but the owner Wolfie wants to sell it and she's kind of trying to convince him not to sell it. I really like this book. I thought it was super cute and I couldn't put it down. If I could, I would have read this book in one sitting. It was really good. I really liked it and I can definitely recommend this. The second book I read was Betting on the Boy Next Door by Melanie Jacobson, and this book is about Semi. Her full name is Samantha, so I'm going to use that. But she lives with her three best friends in an apartment, and during the day she's a nurse and at nighttime she's a rock star, and nobody knows about it except her grandmother, because I don't know, maybe she's ashamed of what she is doing, I'm not really sure. But then they get a new hot neighbor, which is Joss, and he's exactly the opposite of what she wants. He is like super rich, he works for his father at a law firm. He has the opposite lifestyle that she wants. But somehow Ruby, her best friend, and also who lives at the same, but somehow her best friend Ruby thinks that they are perfect for each other and she's trying to set them up. I kind of like this book. However, I feel like that the beginning of this book was a lot better than the ending. I was very excited to read it at first, but then, I don't know, I wasn't excited anymore to read it. I didn't really care. It was okay overall, but I was very excited to read it, so I would give it a 3 out of 5 stars. But yeah, it was okay. The second book I read in June was Love Her or Loser by Tessa Bailey, and this book is already about like a couple. They have married for 10 years, but they're struggling. Like, the chemistry is still there, there's a lot of passion, but that's it. They don't really talk to each other anymore, so the marriage is not great, and she wants to get divorced, and this wakes him up and he's trying to do everything he can to win her back. It was an okay book, I liked it. It shows that like chemistry, having great sex is not enough in a relationship, so I like that part. But overall I would say it was just an average book for me. It was just okay. The next book I read in June was Eloise and the Grump Next Door, written by Emma St. Clair, and this book is about Eloise, obviously. She's 21, fresh out of college, and she and her sisters inherited their grandmother's home and they have to transform it into a bed and breakfast. That was one of her wishes. And then there's Jake, the lawyer. He is there for advice, help, and overseeing it and everything. Eloise is the only one who's staying at the house because her sisters have jobs in different cities. So Eloise is the only one who's staying at the house, and she and Jake spend a lot of time together, and of course they fall in love, but he is also like very insecure because he is 32, she is 21. Is that going to work? He's not really sure. But overall I really like this book. I really loved it. The writing style, I couldn't put it down. I have to eventually because I had to go to sleep, but I really couldn't put it down. I also really want to read the other books in this series. I'm really excited to read those. So yeah, I can definitely recommend this book. Another book I read in June was Exception to the Rule by Christina Lauren, and this is the first book in the Improbable Meet Cute book series. So they are all like short love stories, and they are also written by different authors. And the first one is written by Christina Lauren, like I said. So this book is about C and T. You don't know their full names until the end, so I'm just using C and T. C is the guy, T is the girl, and he thinks that he is sending an email to his teacher, but instead he is sending an email to T, and T replies, of course, he's saying like, hey, I'm not your teacher, by the way, happy Valentine's Day. And then a year later, because this story starts in 2013, so a year later, she sends him an email like, hey, happy Valentine's Day, and a year later they do that again, and it's super cute. But 10 years later they are still doing it, sending each other emails on Valentine's Day, but this time they sort of want to meet each other. They are now 26 and 24. It's really cute. It's short, definitely very short, but it was really cute, and I'm excited to read the rest of the books in this book series. The next book I read in June was Caught Up by Liz Tomford, and this is the third book in the Windy City series. I really recommend to read them in order because otherwise you will get a lot of spoilers. Anyway, this book is about Kai, who is a professional baseball player and he is also a single dad. He's struggling to find balance in his life, and at the same time he fires and hires new nannies like every single month. And then you have Miller, who is a professional chef, and she is Monty's daughter, and Monty is his coach. And Monty decides that Miller is going to be the nanny for Kai's son this summer, and of course eventually they fall in love, but she is like the person who runs away and doesn't want to be attached, and Kai wants exactly the opposite. So yeah, I really like this one. I think this is my favorite in the series so far. I'm still waiting for Rio's story because I don't know, I've been reading about Rio like since the first book, and I'm pretty excited to read his love story. I also wonder if we still get a Sayas love story. At the end of this book they revealed a little bit of his story, but I want to read the full story, if you know what I mean. So I really recommend this book because I really liked it. The last book I read in June was Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and this is the third book of the Part of Your World book series. I haven't read the other books. I think you can read it as a standalone. I did not have the feeling that I was missing anything, like some important information. So I think you can definitely read this as a standalone. This book is about Justin and Emma, and they both think they are cursed because when they're dating someone and they break up, this person finds their soulmate like immediately after they break up, and they decide to date each other so they can also find their soulmate. But it gets a little bit harder when they start actually liking each other. This book was really fun. At first it was cute and fun and romantic, and then it got a little bit more serious when Emma's mother showed up. I constantly have to think about this part of the book where Emma and Justin are in the car and they're not alone. They are with Justin's mom and their best friend, and there are raccoons. That part of the book made me laugh so hard. But this book is also like very intense and dramatic and emotional. It made me cry a few times, but I really liked it for some reason. Anyway, I really like this book and I can definitely recommend it. So these were the books I read in June. I hope you liked the video. Let me know what books you read in June, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.